Andy Grant looking very relaxed and confident. Interesting mixture of cars and drivers on the grid here at Pembrey. One of the best circuits to watch rallycross on. The launch control goes into action, or does it for Steve Monday? Doesn't get away particularly well, but up front, lots of action. Bit of contact between our two championship contenders. Mark getting a bit of a shove from behind as well. As Mark clatters up through the gears in his Citroen Zara, the very distinctive pink and black car, easy to spot. But it is Julian Godfrey who's got away, but it doesn't look like Duran is giving up at this stage. He's taken a lot of time out of him into the first of the very tight right hands. You can see how all of this 600 plus horsepower gets used going through the magnificent four-wheel drive systems that these cars have got. You can see how tentative Godfrey's having to be. It does look incredibly slippery where they've watered down this section earlier on in the day. You can see that's perhaps worked a little bit for, a little bit against now. This is that spectacular Honda curve that they're coming into that really does take an awful lot out of the cars and drive. You have to be so precise through there. You can gain or make an awful lot of time. You can lose a lot of time through there easily as well. And then hard onto the brakes, into the right-hander, trying to get a good drive out of it. Look just how much of the road Duran is using in his quest to try and close down on Godfrey. Meanwhile, back with Mad Mark Watson, man from the northeast, such an enthusiast. The sense of delight we had in him taking his first victory in this championship back at Mallory Park earlier in the season. Everybody was so pleased for him. Going to be a tough call to try and get another win here today, though. It does look like it's between these two regular protagonists at the very front. Watson, though, still hanging on in third. Oh, no, not hanging on in third anymore. Where's he gone? He's disappeared to the back of that scrapping pack. Grant also getting very wide, and I think Rolson and Harris, I think that was that went past Rolson there in the Subaru. This is Mad Mark at the back of that pack, recovering from an incident we think somewhere. Let's see if we can have a look from Mark's onboard. Look in his right-hand mirror, you can just see there's another car there. Not sure if there was any contact or whether just these very difficult conditions caught out the Citroen Zara driver. Either way, he dropped to the back of the pack then. You can see Grant running wide. We saw the beginnings of that shot a little bit earlier on. And now incredibly close scrap between these guys. Watson's car looking a bit worse for wear, both front and rear. Always festooned with sponsors across it, so lots of people getting behind the ever-popular guy. Always a real pleasure to talk to around the paddock. Bumper looking like it's going to go away from the car fairly soon as he chases down Rolfson. Meanwhile, it looks like Godfrey now is just starting to extend that lead, just getting into the rhythm. We've seen the Heathfield man do this so many times before. Once he gets his head down, he seems like he just gets into such a groove that it's very, very difficult to close down. Here, just the way he's very delicately on the power. Of course, he'll know all about how to get the most out of the engineering side of things, being an engine builder and an engineer of great repute, of course, building engines and cars for other people as well, including Pat Duran. So an interesting mixture of competition and of supply, I suppose you could say. But it does look like Grant now has just edged away from the pack. Meanwhile, recovering Steve Monday after his drama at the start is on the back of Mad Mark Watson. I'm sure Watson doesn't want to be seeing any more challenges today. He's had enough drama as it is so far. Godfrey's lap times looking very, very strong. This could be a championship clinching drive. 3 championships on the bounce would match the performance in the past of Trevor Hopkins in the 70s and Keith Ripp in the 80s. But a drama for Godfrey, a totally uncharacteristic spin very, very late on in the race. Where's the rest of the pack? There goes Pat Duran through. Now, does that mean that Duran is going to take victory? It does. Pat Duran takes victory at Pembrey, a most unexpected one, but it is. Julian Godfrey recovers to second, and I think that is still enough to make him the British champion for 2013. Through comes the rest of the pack, but what drama late on in the race. I think that's the first time, well, actually I can remember at the end of the opening round last year at Lyddon, Julian had a big spin across the line. That's the last time I remember anything like that, but look at that. I bet Duran could not believe what he was seeing there. Luckily for Julian, though, the rest of the pack were far enough behind. Now let's see if we can work out what actually happened. He gets a little bit sideways through the first part of the chicane. I think that momentum, the catapulted the car back round the other way. And Duran then slices past to take his first win of 2013.